I wasn't going to talk about this originally, but it's a very sad story, this Anne Hesh story. So I figured I'd lead with it today, just to kind of figure out what exactly is going on. So I'll just read from this article here at CNN. It says, actress Anne Hesh is now being investigated for a felony DUI after crashing her car into a Los Angeles area home, which then caught on fire last week. The initial investigation was for misdemeanor DUI, but results from a bad blood draw from Hesh and word of an injury to someone else inside the home have elevated the matter to a felony. Her blood showed signs of impairment, and that is why it is now being investigated as a felony. A woman inside the home at the time of the crash suffered minor injuries, but did seek medical attention. This just seems like such a wild crash that happened. And it seems like it's a little too early still to even see. Some people are upset that the LAPD are coming so aggressively at this, particularly because it looks like she's not going to survive. Very sad. It's saying the family is saying that after severe brain injury from car crash, the family is saying that she's going to be taken off life support, which is just tragic. Really, really sad. But okay, one of the big stories right now, Johnny Depp is back. He's going to play King Louis XV. It's a story that follows Jean du Barry. It seems like it's kind of a, obviously, period piece, maybe more of just one of the more fun period pieces, maybe a little aloof. It does seem like Johnny Depp is going to be the type of fun, silly character, just the type that Johnny Depp would normally do whenever he was more in his heyday, back throughout like the early 2000s, that type of character. I think the biggest question throughout the whole Johnny Depp trial is he going to be able to return? Is there going to be a road where he is back in the limelight, has the sympathies of the audience again? There were obviously he won the trial, and beyond that though, there's almost like two parts of is he going to get the sympathy back of the audience? Is he going to, and then is he going to have a career? If he had lost the trial and he didn't have the sympathy of the audience, I think roles like this one would have been taken away from him. I don't think this French production would have gone forward. The fact that it is going forward and the fact that there seems to be some just encouragement, excitement about the fact that he is back in a role that kind of sounds like the type you'd expect from Johnny Depp, I think shows that all the groundwork is there for him to return and to have the type of career that he was having before the whole Amber Heard crap went down. And I think that's a good thing. I do think that's a good thing. I think that if Disney's smart, they'll have him back. They'll probably do another Pirates movie. Maybe they'll go back to the drawing board and really start from what made Pirates good, because that was really going off the deep end. But I would love to see Johnny Depp come back and have a strong career again. But give me your thoughts on that in the comments. Another fun story that's going on right now. So Warner Brothers is now considering a few scenarios when it comes to this Flash movie with Ezra Miller. If you don't know what's going on with the Ezra Miller story, back earlier this year, there were stories coming out about him in Hawaii, and there would be reports of he pushed a woman, he threw a chair at a woman, he threw darts at a man, he assaulted someone. There were a bunch of misdemeanors going on, and it was happening so frequently that it was starting to be asked, what's going to go on? Like, is this going to affect the Flash movie? Like, this is, what he's doing is so, like, he's not a huge name, but it's such a prominent role in, obviously, this Flash movie that it's like, is he canceling himself effectively? And at first, it just seemed like a joke. It was funny that he kept getting arrested. It was then happening so much that it started to feel like, ooh, is there something more going on here? And then it was announced that he was in trouble because he had been giving a few minors alcohol and LSD, like 13, 14-year-olds, up until they were like in their early 20s. So at that point, obviously, he's looking a lot more toxic and going on for, and so people were pressuring Warner Brothers even more to at least say what's going on, like what's going to happen. And Warner Brothers, The Flash is a $200 million movie. They've been very like, hey, let's not talk about this. Let's not continue. Like, come on, it's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. We're not canceling this movie. And now he's being charged with a felony for breaking and entering into someone's home and stealing a few bottles of liquor, which is just the stupidest thing. It is so stupid. But the big question here is Warner Brothers going to cut this movie? And I think if more stuff comes out, which I think it will, I could actually seeing them scrapping this Flash movie. It would be hilarious if they do that. It would be bizarre, too. $200 million. Like, That is unbelievable that there's a movie at that level that is on the chopping block right now. Like, that is just... I don't think there's anything else like that at all. Like, and the fact that Warner Brothers chopped the Batgirl movie that was $90 million, like, it is just so many layers of weird. And the Ezra Miller story is just it's so strange. It's a thorny issue. It's a thorny issue. A lot of weird behavior, and is it going to be enough to tank this movie? We'll see. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. They also floated the idea of maybe having an interview where he kind of does a tell-all, and I think that would just be a hilarious train wreck, and I am all for it if they want to do that, and we will be covering here on 5 Minute Critic if they do. I was very excited about this one. Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie are planning multiple new projects together. So right now, they're obviously going to finish out Mission Impossible, which will be exciting. They're working together on that space movie. Tom Cruise and Elon Musk, SpaceX, are going to go and film in space. It'll be the second production since Russia. They were the first ones to go up to space and film a movie a few months ago. But the 3 projects that they're talking about here, they want to do a musical, like an original song and dance movie, which I think would be fantastic for Tom Cruise. You have, what was the guy's name? The washed-up actor. Mickey Rourke said Tom Cruise doesn't do anything new, doesn't do anything interesting. He does the same thing for the last 35 years. And this would obviously prove that wrong. I think the musical... It would be good if that continues to come back. We've had a lot of great musicals, but have someone like Tom Cruise come back and do a song and dance movie, I think would be pretty thrilling. They also want to do another action film franchise, which obviously him and Christopher McQuarrie tried that with Jack Reacher. Flop. I hated Jack Reacher. Both of those movies I thought were very, very generic. And then they want to do something, this is a fun one, with Les Grossman, the character that Tom Cruise played in Tropic Thunder, which I think that would be fantastic. I would love to see, just even, maybe they'd probably do a big movie out of that, but I think that would be hilarious to go back to the Tropic Thunder universe. I think that'd be fantastic. Okay, so is NBC bringing back the Golden Globes? I'm a little bit confused about this one because it doesn't seem... I don't know where this story really is emanating from. NBC has not given a comment. The Hollywood Foreign Press has not given a comment. But it does seem like there are some mutterings that NBC and the Hollywood Foreign Press are talking about what to do regarding the Golden Globes next year. Now, when it comes to the Golden Globes, everyone says it's about, diversity. They didn't have any black people on the board. I do not think that is the actual problem with the Golden Globes. I mean, I don't think that is the actual reason that they canceled the Golden Globes last year. I think NBC is locked into a contract until 2026 that for a show that costs them $60 million a year, brings in a little under $50 million a year, and nobody is watching. So NBC, I think, is using the diversity thing as a way to put the Golden Globes on a chopping block in a way that people will side with NBC for in doing that. Now, the Golden Globes have always been trash. You can watch everything that I've said on this channel. When the Golden Globes have come up, the Golden Globes are terrible. They do not put quality first. They are a party. That's all of those ceremonies are a party, but the one with the least amount of credibility is the Golden Globes. If I had to predict something, I am still going to go that they're not going to bring the Golden Globes back. I think that, like Cartman said in South Park, whenever they pull one episode, that is how they cancel things. I think that's what they did when they canceled it that year. I don't think that it's going to come back. Maybe, if anything, this is kind of being put out as a story to kind of see what the feels are out there for the viewers if they want it to come back. I don't think it's going to come back. And if it does, I mean, people are going to care less than they cared before. Like, who... No one really gave a shit about the Oscars anyway. Like, most of this doesn't ring true with any of the audience anymore. So, that's what I think. Give me your thoughts on if you think the Golden Globes are going to come back. Maybe the bigger business story, Disney has now passed Netflix in terms of total subscribers. Now, this is if you bundle everything that Disney has to offer, meaning Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN. Hulu's got 46 million subscribers. ESPN has got 23 million. Disney's got 152 million. The way that things are going... Oh, and overall, I think I said 221 million is what Disney has. Netflix right now has 220 million. Obviously, Netflix has lost a million over the last year. So, actually, I guess about 1.5 million over the last year. So, Netflix and Disney are kind of neck and neck right now. I do think the future of the streaming, or at least the next chapter of streaming, is not so much going to be who is going to be the winner, because I think now a lot of the streaming services are catching up with the head start that Netflix had. I think it's going to be bundling. I think it's going to be getting more detailed about the offerings that the streaming services have. So Disney bundling Hulu, ESPN, all of that stuff, I think it's going to go the way that it's going to be like cable again. We're going to have had a time throughout this whole process where we get low cost of streaming, and now the ads are coming back, and that's eventually, I think, they're going to creep their way back in, and it's going to look the exact same way. It's just going to be, we're not going through cable providers. It's just going to be streaming services and paywalls and, that type of thing. But I'm surprised. I didn't think that Disney was going to catch up as quickly as they did, and I honestly didn't even think for some reason that they would count it. But no, it makes sense. They own all of those streaming services. And in the end, it kind of like how Criterion is kind of tied with Warner Brothers. I kind of like that. I like being able to have different streaming services that kind of have their own niches. I think that's very nice. And Netflix, it'd be nice if Netflix stays in the game. It'd be good if any of these streaming services have, quality content that they put out there. Netflix seems to do a good job, but they're obviously changing up their content a lot. So we'll see how they do, if they're able to stay relevant. I don't know why they're not going for sports. Everyone is going for sports. Apple's going for sports. Amazon Prime is going for sports. HBO Max isn't, but HBO Max is really cornered out. Like, their niche is high-quality television, so their resources, I think, go a long way in offering that. Netflix, they don't have it. They always have like one or two shows at a time that are like entertaining, but I don't think they stick around in the way that HBO Max's shows do. So I don't know. This is not, again, saying that Netflix is going anywhere. It's just Netflix is not the inevitable winner of the streaming wars. Lord of the Rings, they're said to have ghosted Peter Jackson. This was a big thing that was kind of kicking around this week. I don't know if this is a big deal. It seemed like it was just fodder, just to kind of fill out the week. Peter Jackson, he said, "Oh, they ghosted me. They didn't say anything." But he says he's excited to see it. He thinks that they'll probably do a good job. The thing that I think is the bigger deal about the Lord of the Rings show is that it's getting ratioed like you could not believe on YouTube. If you have a function up that shows the amount of dislikes that you get on YouTube, because YouTube took that away for the small creators, it shows that, for instance, the teaser of The Rings of Power has about 30 million views with something like 1.8 million dislikes, which is wild that many people are pissed that a Lord of the Rings show is coming out. So give me your thoughts if you're excited about that. I'd be interested. I think that the range of hype for it is very diverse, and a lot of online outlets are just making it very simple in terms of like, some people love it and then some people are bigots. It's just stupid. It's stupid. Another story, there's a Cary Grant show coming out with Jason Isaacs. I love Jason Isaacs. If you're a fan of the Mark Kermode and Simon Mayo show, they always have this huge thing with Jason Isaacs where they have some inside jokes about him. He's a great actor. I'd love if that goes well. I feel like Jason Isaacs is always put in these TV shows that don't ever really go anywhere, but they kind of kick around for a little bit. So hopefully that's good. And I'm interested to see his Cary Grant impression. Also, if you are in New York City or the New York City area, there's a new documentary theater that's going to open up outside of Chinatown and Little Italy. I forget the name of it, but it was a firehouse originally, and they've converted it into a movie theater, but they've kept the firehouse look. So that looks very exciting. I think it's supposed to open in about a month, like mid-September. As far as reviews go, this week we've got Bullet Train up, which is a hunk of shit. So check out the review. That's on the channel. And then we have Catch Me If You Can coming out later. I think maybe Saturday we'll drop that one. So leave any stories that you would like, and we'll talk about them next week on Weekly Movie Update. And also, if you have not already, please subscribe to 5 Minute Critic for future updates on reviews and movie news.